everybody. Hi, my name is Lila Ray, and this is Founding Future. Welcome back. No Alden today. She's in Hillsdale, as we know. She left our last episode where we did the takeover for the Patriots as our final episode with Alden in person. She'll be zooming in with us next month, although this month you have me and a lovely guest that I've brought on today, Paul Anthony.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be on here.
Yes, we're going to jump straight into so many topics, talking about things like young people in politics, how to get involved in politics as a young person. We're going to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk's legacy, as we are coming on to the anniversary of his death coming September. And it's gonna be a great time. We're gonna have a great time here. So one thing we have not done in the past that I would like to do, I'm gonna open in prayer, just over the whole episode, and that will open our hearts to hear what we have to say today. All right. Jesus, I thank you for this day. Thank you for this platform, and I thank you for the ability that we have to come here and speak freely about things of you and about the things going on in our country today. I pray that you would be with us here as we talk about you and talk about you and our country and about the many things going on in our country today. And I pray that you would be with us and the listeners watching today. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Now, let's jump into young people in politics. So you yourself are very heavily involved in multiple different organizations, correct?
That is correct. Mainly Turning Point USA. I'm dabbled a bit in YAF, and then I'm also connected with the Young Republicans of New York, mainly based out of the city. Just I'm a bit further out east here on Long Island, so I don't directly physically connect with them all that often.
Okay. Well, talking about said organizations, what are your roles in those organizations, and what do they entail? Do you have more leadership position in those
So
areas?
with Turning Point USA, I'm actually the president at Suffolk Community College, and the roles that we have for the organization, I'll just lay them out here. We have the president, which is my role, the vice president, which is right now head up by Kevin, and then we have a treasurer, which is head up by Will, and then we have a social media person who does all of our stuff right now, and we're looking to fill that role in this upcoming semester with all the new kids coming in as well. And with the Young Republicans of New York, I'm only a member in that right now, since most positions are filled by other very talented and qualified young people here as well. And YAF, I'm only a quick member. I've been to one of their conferences so far.
All right. Well, how did you get involved with those things? Like, how did you know that politics, it was something you wanted to be involved with, especially in the college and Turning Point specifically?
So when it came to politics and wanted to be involved, I became interested in politics a little while ago. I'm a bit older, so a little bit before COVID, and this is when I was dabbling with college. It's like, all right, I want to get into this, but then I didn't know where to go for a while. Then COVID happened, so I wasn't particularly in college. So when I got back, I went to the first few semesters. I didn't think too much on it because time has been changed since then. And then my girlfriend at the time was very much interested in Turning Point USA. So she applied to start a chapter right around the time of the assassination of our leader of the organization. She was then approved and then roped me into doing that as well, since I'm her boyfriend. And that's how we got started at Suffolk Community College right there. And with that, it's given me great opportunities to connect with not only them, but with the Young Republicans, YAF, and my local GOP over in Suffolk County.
Okay, so how old were you when you first had like an interest in politics and in general, just in the political realm?
Long time ago. I would say back in 2014, and it's now 2026. So
Yeah.
I've had an interest in it, but I was unguided, and I wish that I had the resources that are available today's youth, for I could have been involved way back then, and it would have potentially made a difference for everyone if I did, but that was on myself right there.
Okay, well, yeah, that's wonderful. I think a lot of the times, and especially at the age that I'm at now, as somebody who's not yet 18, but going to be soon, I'm going to be able to vote in the next presidential election. I missed the midterms, but a lot of the people my age right now are currently feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit lost. How do you feel that we could get involved in politics without having our ability to vote yet?
the best thing you can do is to join organizations such as Turning Point or your local, there's college Republicans, there's also Republican chapters for each community. Turning Point USA is actually opening a new thing called Turning Point Communities. You can go there. But if you have a family and everything as well, there's also an opportunity called Club America, and that is particularly designed for high school students to join as well, or homeschool. So you can connect, go on the website, fill out a register form, and then they'll give you the ability to contact your local area's representative, and then you can go from there and see if you wish to go forward. And then you can do tabling events and other activism things, and that's one way to start getting involved, and you can end up networking and going forward with everyone else there.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And we're going to actually go into a little bit more about how to get involved with said organizations in different chapters. But let's talk about maybe raising up our youth a little bit, because as somebody who is a youth, I'm still technically a youth because I'm not graduated yet. Senior year next year will be wonderful. I'm still technically considered youth. I'm in my church youth group. I think that one thing we need to point out a lot of the times, especially with churches, and I've said this before, pastors are supposed to be seen as the shepherd of the flock of their church. I think one of the biggest problems within churches nowadays is that they don't rise up their youth. They don't give us opportunities. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what Jesus said. And in his words, he's talking about children. But I think legally, if you're under 18, you're considered a child. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to read this verse here of Matthew 19:13-15. Then children were brought to him that he might lay his hands on them and pray. The disciples rebuked the people, but Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for such belongs the kingdom of heaven." And he laid his hands on them and went away. So clearly, Jesus is welcoming children into this space where Jesus wants to lay hands and pray for them. A lot of the times when people say that children shouldn't be involved in politics is because their parents indoctrinate them, which I find very interesting, because liberals, and I mean the left, does try to kind of veer away parent and child communication, and we're going to talk about that in our next segment, actually. But before we do, I did want to ask you one of the things that I have been kind of just like looking around to kind of see what's been going on within the youth circle. So do you think it's a good idea for young people to be involved in politics? Why or why not?
I believe it is a good idea to get involved, especially if you're young, in politics. It's a good stepping stone because not only are you making a name within your community, you are now networking with people who potentially can provide opportunities to you as well in the future. Instead of, let's say you go through college and you complete everything, now you have people who might be in the same industry as you, because the political world also connects with the business world and all facets of that as well. So let's say you send out your application to, let's say, said company, whatever it is, you get rejected and everything, but, oh, hey, your local GOP member is someone within that organization or business. They can then, hey. Connections.
Essentially. Making connections. Yes, I love that. I think that that's one of the huge things that public schoolers, homeschoolers, kids our age just don't have, is that ability to form connections with people. And in a world where a lot of industries are, you have to know somebody, getting involved in politics is a great way to start to learn those skills, would you say?
I would say so very much.
So we're almost done with this segment. I have one final question before this segment's over. Why do you think specifically young people tend to veer away from politics?
Because politics is very taxing on the soul, and it requires a lot of research right there. And when you really get into the nitty-gritty of things, you have to have a certain threshold to withstand being able to deal with the shenanigans that is politics, and then the slow grind that sometimes it takes to do things. It's a slog. We as youth want to get things done very quickly, snap.
Especially with today's attention spans.
TikTok has really done a number on all of us of that, I have to say.
I'm guilty.
I think all of us are a bit guilty right there. We're the generation of a little bit before the iPad for me, but you're the generation of the iPad, growing up with that kind of stuff. So
clearly,
it's mainly just figuring out what to do with that and going forward, I'd have to say.
All right. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, quite honestly, and I've said this once, I'll say it a million times again, there is no such thing as a nonpartisan opinion. I feel like if you have an opinion on something nowadays, I can probably tell you which way it leans. You can tell me any opinion, I can tell you which way it leans. We're going to come back in our next segment, and in our next segment, we're going to talk a lot more about some more problems within the church, but we're also going to talk specifically about how we can get a little bit more involved with the different organizations. We're going to talk about some things that Charlie Kirk said specifically about the youth, how to get involved in Turning Point, and just specific advice for young people in general. But before we do, I want to read one more verse, Ephesians 6, 1 through 4. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. So one thing I can't stress enough, if your young person is willing to get involved in politics, and that is something that you see for them in the future, as a parent, please bring them up in the right way, because it is our responsibility. No matter how much the left tries to push children away from their parents, I feel like the child-parent relationship is probably what's most vital in them forming their morality. And really, that's what people tend to look for in politics: is what is your morality? Which is very interesting. Very interesting.
And that's pretty much the main course of it right there. That's pretty much hitting everything on the head of the nail.
Yes. We're going to be right back after some few short messages. And that's our first segment.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. You know, people at the warehouse are always asking me, Gino, you show up smelling like freedom every day, even though you live in the cesspool that is the socialist New York City. How do you do it? Sugar Creek Goods. Sugar Creek Goods is made by Patriots and has a full line of incredible products, including soaps and lotions, and even this that you use for your dog, Patriot Puffs. My wife makes me use that. But people, please, get your own. Go to sugarcreekgoods.com/TAFW. See ya.
Hey, Paul, I was having a pillow fight with Gino's wife.
Me too.
Yeah.
She's
I
not
was
supposed
there.
to stay
I
up that
remember.
late.
I have the video. And now let me tell you, talk about soft. When I think soft pillows, I think of, other than Gino's wife, mypillow.com, because these are the best pillows you're ever going to get. You can go to mypillow.com /TAFW. Go now, get your My Pillow right now.
The America First Ultra MAGA store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA store.
Hey, Paul, you know what's more disappointing than Gino Bisconte? Bad cell service.
I can hear you.
What?
I can hear you right here. It's not like you're on your cell phone talking about me.
You know what? We could have called each other is what you're going.
Using Patriot Mobile?
Just put it in
Yes.
our group text.
Which works all over the country, and how would they get it if they wanted to be red, white, and blown away? Does that work?
Smash the little black box.
Huh? PatriotMobile.com/T.
You know, I got to tell you, a lot of my followers are asking, hey, Midnight, where are you getting all that energy from? I say, you want to know the truth? I take about 25 milligrams of Adderall a day. But that eventually ends, and then that's where Agara coffee comes in. I start drinking this stuff, and it boosts my energy. It shoots me right through to the moon. If you're not drinking Agara coffee, and you need that extra boost during the middle of the day, I'm telling you right now, get this into your system, and I promise you that it will absolutely take you to a whole nother level. Midnight, I am out. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
everybody. Welcome back to Founding the Future. I'm Lila Ray, and I'm here today with Paul Anthony. And we're just talking a lot about young people in politics. So it's a very interesting topic to talk about as a young person in politics. So let's get right down to the nitty-gritty, because like I was saying before, people my age are lost, and we don't know where to go. So when it comes down to finding direction within politics, what advice do you have for people my age, like people who don't know who can't vote yet, people that want to get involved, just young people in general?
What I would do for the first thing, which I did, was I'm a bit more of a researcher, so I would research things that are valuable to my core beliefs and go forward with that to see how they best are represented in the political world. And then I would go I particularly wanted to go connect with the GOP, and I did not know how to do that at the time. So realistically, look them up online for your local areas, see where their office is. You can stop by and connect with them there. But as well, there's also the activism groups such as Turning Point, YAF, and the Young Republicans. And you get involved with them by going mainly to their websites, filling out a form, and then they directly contact you, and then you talk to the local region representative right there.
Yeah, that's great. And I think specifically it's very good to even search for guidance in trusted older people that have that wisdom and knowledge. But let's talk about a little bit about what the left's been up to when it comes to parent-child relationships, because we know that they've been trying to push parents out of the equation for quite a long time. But before we do that, actually, can we play cut one, which this is a video of Charlie Kirk's message to young people specifically.
Now, a couple other things that I want to make sure I mention. If you're a young person here and you say, boy, what do I want to do for my life? Honestly, you should get married as young as possible and have as many kids as possible. Period. Reject the siren song of modernity. Now, some parents are probably, ooh, I don't like that, they should basically, they should go get a job first. You're wrong. I'm sorry. Honestly. We are on the verge of a population collapse in this country. Every day I receive emails from young women filled with regret in their late 30s. And they say, Charlie, I'm sobbing as I write this email because what you talk about on the show is exactly right. I have a couple college degrees. I have a great job and almost no debt. But I was told, to forego having a family. But now I'm looking around and I have a lot of cats. And no kids. Honestly, where did we go wrong where we think that your bank account balance means more than passing down to the next generation? Where did we go wrong, everybody? So, I hope you meet your future soulmate. As I met Erica, the best decision I ever made in my life and the greatest blessing. And I hope you get married and have lots and lots of kids.
Truly, I think we really are on a population deficit, because
Big time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, look at our episode. We did an episode months back about abortion and how the sad reality of it, and just the way that it's been viewed as some moral good. It's been viewed as some sort of better choice than having the child or giving it up for adoption. Which is another reason why I want to talk about parents being taken out of the equation, because we've seen what happens to children who grew up not knowing a parent, who grew up not having a parent. It's honestly the most vital thing in a child's life is having that guidance. And when we talk about young people in politics, we need to really make sure that those children are being guided exactly. So now, let's shift over to a sadder part of the story where we're going to put up cut 2 and 3, where I just wanted to mention really quickly the story of Jessica Conan, whose daughter was socially transitioned starting at 11. And then cut 3, you'll see Amber Levine, who argued that school counselor at Great Salt Bay Community School encouraged her 13-year-old to wear a chest binder and use different names and pronouns at school without consulting her.
Despicable.
Now, there are many, many other stories exactly like this. And I think And this is why I'm a big advocate for homeschooling. I grew up homeschooled. And I don't see it as a form of indoctrination, because could I have probably gone to public school if I wanted to? Probably. I didn't want to. Now, there is a choice in it, obviously, but parents have to be the ones there and enforcing it. So as we talk about young people in politics, let's also acknowledge the parents that are guiding them. I'm going to read Deuteronomy 6:4-7. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. I think time and time again, there is always this kind of respect for your elders that is like pushed into us growing up. And I that's the question we have to ask, is where did that go? Where did that go?
I think it was lost when media in Hollywood portrayed all the adults and father figures in the entertainment industry as absolute buffoons and losers right there. The kids ruled the household. I had, when you watch that stuff growing up, especially on Disney Channel or Disney XD, if you remember that, they would always portray the parents as buffoons, losers. You can always get one over them. The kids ran the household, and that's where the respect for the elders completely and utterly vanish. When you grow up watching that, it affects your relationship with your actual mother and father going forward, because then you start to view them subconsciously in the same light right there. And then that puts strain between your relationship, because then they start becoming more stern with you, and it continues to build from there.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, looking back on it, you're absolutely right. The parents are always idiots in shows, actually. And honestly, not only that, but when we go back to talking about what Charlie had said about go get married and have lots of kids, one thing that we wanted to bring up a lot, and I'm sure we'll do a future episode on, me and Alden, feminism. How feminism has absolutely destroyed the American dream. When you tell women that it's better to go out and get a job and to do the man's job than to go home and literally live the American dream.
Especially what the most recent case with Lindsay Clancy going on right now. It's shown true insanity. We've now gone the full slippery slope, I have to say, right there. We've gone
Sickening.
Absolutely sickening. Now advocating for murdering children outside of the womb who've been around for a few years. Children are not a test trial. This is something that you're committing your life to. This is not a quick and easy, oh, I'm canceling my subscription right now to motherhood.
Yes, if only were that easy, but it is not. That is why establishing, especially with parents, establishing a good moral values in your children is the best thing that you can do, because otherwise we get people that grow up like her who murder their children. So that's beautiful. Just gonna look here. And as we're talking about young people in politics, one of the things that we always have to bring up is Charlie Kirk, the late great Charlie Kirk, as we are in our next segment going to talk about a little bit more of his legacy. I think he had such a passion for young people in politics. It was like you could see how he related to all these people, and he made a huge impact on many, many people's lives. I know I'm an emotional person. Come see me in person at any of my events. I do not escape one of those events without crying. That is just my lot in life. I think I cried probably for 3 weeks after he died.
It was truly tragic. I remember that day I was sitting at home, I was watching YouTube and scrolling on Twitter at the same time, and then it happened, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is actually an event. And I was like, oh, he's dead. And I went to my girlfriend at the time, and she was like, absolutely not. She was in pure denial, and she bursted out in tears. When it came to Charlie Kirk, he did have an effect on everyone right there, because he was an absolutely good orator and great communicator as well. And he saw where the future lies. It's always with the youth. And the impressions that you leave them with will decide and dictate what the future will be going forward. If you leave them with bad impression, the values that you wish to teach will not be taught. They will be discarded and thrown away. You need to provide leadership, stability, and control, and why your version of life is the way to go forward. And that's why you're seeing so many people go towards communism nowadays. A lot of the older crowd right there.
We just did our episode on that. A lot of the older crowd, yes, but believe it or not, a lot of the young people too. And one of the things that we brought up was because young people nowadays, they just don't believe that they have anything else to offer. So they want everything given to them. Because I have nothing to offer to this world. This world does not benefit me. It sounds to me like we need a reality check. It sounds to me like we need a reality check. The world is not here to the world is not going to benefit you all the time.
No, it's not. And sometimes you have to benefit the world at large for the benefits to come back to you. It's a tug and pull right there, a give and take. Sometimes things will not always go your way, but when they do, it's good. And sometimes you have to just accept that you're going to take some L's in life right there.
And I think that that's why Charlie related so much to so many young people, is because he told them that they have something to offer, and he gave them a mic and gave them the ability to just speak their mind. And he came back at them with facts. And yes, sometimes they didn't know what to do with it, and sometimes they swirled insults. Or in that one very famous video where the old guy challenges him to a fist fight. I've seen that one. Sometimes that happens. I mean, it was a great opportunity, and I think that what the world looks at right now is what we're looking at is wondering who's next, who's going to take up that torch. And my message to young people is it could be you. It could be you. You have something to offer.
It's not it could be. It is you. You are the next generation right there. Pick up the microphone, pick up the torch, the law book, and then go forward in life right there, presenting your ideas and values and holding true to the American dream right there. For if you do not, there will not be an America for the next future. It will be a grim, dark reality, and I don't think any of us want to be a part of that reality.
We're going to come back and talk more about his impact right after this messages.
Beneath the Texas sky, I can rope and ride like Daddy, and I never ever cried. But now the world's a-changing, girls must cover up to their eyes. Don't wanna be sold to some old man, I'd really rather die. So just go home. Just go home. Just go home. Sharia law's not welcome over here. Just go home. Take your medieval rules and stick them in your ear. Just go home. Your Sharia law will never rule our land. Just go home. We've got the Second Amendment to help you understand. Just go home. Just go home. Just go home. Take your hijabs back, better pack your burqas too. Just go home. God's blessed Texas and the other 49 too. Just go home. Don't Sharia my Texas, just go home. Don't Sharia my Texas, just go home. Oh, the yellow rose of Texas that I'm gonna see. Nobody else could miss her, not half as much as me. She cried so when I left her, it nearly broke my heart. And if I ever find her, we never more will part. Oh, the yellow rose of Texas that I'm gonna see. Nobody else could miss her, not half as much as me. She cried so when I left her, it nearly broke my heart. And if I ever
All right, welcome back, everyone. Once again, I'm Lila Ray, and I'm here with my guest of the day, Paul Anthony.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we're here talking about young people in politics, and specifically, this segment's going to be a lot about Charlie Kirk, as we're getting to the memorial of his death in September coming up, and this is our final episode before that happens. Just to talk a little bit about this, I was very passionate about this when it first happened. A lot of you know I spoke, if you saw me speak at any events, I would speak very heavily about what he meant and what his movement meant and what we can do now. And as we're getting right back into that, I think it was a topic that kind of got pushed down the further away from his death that we got. And now that we're coming up to 1 year almost of him being gone, I think it's something it's worth bringing up again. So just to drive it home about how much he meant to young people specifically, I want to put cut 4, and this is just a small video showing how Charlie Kirk, how much he meant to people.
He actually played a big role in how I thought about politics and how I put politics and God together. One day I was scrolling on TikTok.
It's cutting out.
It was probably like 2020, and I found him, and I really just loved what he was saying.
It's just the audio.
I think her finding
In here,
him helped
it's
her
weird.
develop that sense of this will affect us.
No, it's okay. We can leave it on.
I wanted to come put like balloons or flowers, pay my respects.
I'm so heartbroken. I bet.
Because somebody says something you don't like doesn't mean you get to kill people. We didn't deserve it. I'm 10 years old, and how I learned about Charlie Kirk was he did these really great shows. And one of the most important things that he said is, I love God, I love my family, and I love my country.
Kind of said what we were all thinking. Just that traditional families, that's just how families are supposed to be done. That's what resonated with a lot of us.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
going right
not
into now. The
really big on
transitions and how the
politics.
girls reacted. And we'll give our
I
take
was
on
a
that.
little bit more in between and just kept the peace and didn't speak my mind. Honestly, going forward, this makes me more empowered to feel a little bit more conservative and speak my mind, honestly, because I'm just so sick of it.
It feels we're on the brink of something that's a little bit scary, but a little bit revolutionary.
Passing is just, I feel like hard on everyone in our community right now.
And I think that's a lot about how almost all of the conservative community and the movement felt after he passed away. It was uncontrollable tears. And we could see a 10-year-old girl, he was even strong enough to have the morality and empathy to just look at a man who was publicly executed, who had a wife and children, and be able to cry for him. Now, on the other hand, there was another movement, the one that we know is the liberal side of things, the left, that a lot of them didn't have that same empathy or sense of morality. And that's what we're here to talk about a little bit as we get into his legacy. Let's talk about how the left reacted to Charlie Kirk's death, because it was quite and quite an interesting situation.
Absolute jubilee from them right there.
Yes, absolutely. There was a news network, I believe, I can't put my name on which one, that was cheering when they found out that he died.
I think that was may have been Newsmax. This is not an actual thing with this. May have been Newsmax or seen in the back room when they were getting it in. There were some of the people who were cheering and the other people in the crowd, or their coworkers were looking at them kind of funny, like, "No, this is terrible news right here. Why are you cheering?"
I can't put my name on my I cannot think of the name of the news network, but then obviously we knew Newsday had put up that picture in the paper of his chair with the blood on it, and it was a caricature. There were just so many things that went on back then. It just felt like a fever dream, if I'm being completely honest. At the time, about 3 days before it happened, I was elected president of a Turning Point chapter within a church, a local church.
Congratulations.
Well, chapter's closed now, but thank you. The chapter was a high school chapter, and it's closed now. But at the time, it was very jarring to think, oh my gosh, I just got involved in this, and now the CEO is gone. Like, it was a very, very interesting time. But let's play one more video. I just want to play cut 6, and we're going to talk a little bit about their reactions to it, because I have some videos here that you'll find interesting.
She deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Kirk just got shot.
The loving, tolerant left, everybody.
Absolutely demon-possessed people. As I said,
hypocrites.
Jubilee with those videos and everything. They were celebrating right there, and it makes you think sometimes, these are our countrymen. They can vote. Are we even the same country anymore with that? You look at them, and you look back at yourself in the mirror. The way you think, the way you operate, they do not think the same way. They do not operate the same way. And it really does bring up the question sometimes of, should we go our own separate ways? Do we, as a nation, can rectify the issues that have separated us so thoroughly and completely from now on? There is now, realistically, 2 images of America going forward competing, where there was one image originally, where you would fight about tax policies and stuff. Now, there's the liberal lefts with immigration, super gay rights, but that's being pushed to the side, and it's going to be very funny watching the Islamists completely take that out right there.
Yes,
and
it's funny to me how a lot of the people on the left will spew gay rights this, gay rights that, and then they'll also spew wanting to bring in socialism, but not only socialism, but they'll want to bring in the Islamist Sharia law. I'm sitting here like, do you understand what they do to gay people under Sharia law? It's absolutely uneducated. My advice for young people, actually educate yourselves before you speak.
That is something that you should all take to heart, even us. As I said originally, research is one of the most important things. It may be tiring and it may not be the best for everyone right there, because it may not be your forte, but it is good to know what is going on in the world right there. For if you do not know what's going on in the world, you may walk into traps and be caught out unprepared in the world, or you may fall into falsehoods and accidentally sign something you did not mean to. The world is always a shifting place.
And wasn't that what school was supposed to be? School was supposed to prepare kids for the world. How are you preparing them for the world by taking them to a counselor and asking them if they feel like they're a female or a male?
Absolutely. It was originally supposed to be that. But unfortunately, the schools were infiltrated by people who had a plan, and they saw 30 years in the future. This is something that's been a long time coming. They sat back, they calculated, they removed the people who were originally there for the job and the best suited. Now they're sitting there teaching your kindergartners what gender they are and how to
Drag race story times.
that or do perverted acts on adults. Meanwhile, these kids want to play with crayons and build Barbie dolls or with Legos. That is an absolute absurdity and atrocity.
And what mental problems is this going to give our these future adults? That's what they are. When we are raising up our children, do not only think of them as children as they are now. That is a future adult. And your job as a parent is to make them a functioning adult in the future. And entrusting them to schools, I'm sorry, at this point, is not doing that job very well. And I'm not going to say that the public schools. And the best way that you can veer away from that is either homeschooling or actually getting involved in your school. Get involved in your kids' school boards. Know what they're learning. When they come home with homework and they ask you for help, or when they come home asking you why the teacher was asking them which bathroom they prefer to use, get involved. Get involved.
It's very important too, especially with school board elections. That is something that's sorely neglected, and that is something that all of us need to focus on immensely right there.
When we come back, we're just going to wrap things up, and we'll be right back.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic place in all the land. Hey, I'm here getting cleansed up. You know why? Because Sugar Creek Goods is a great place by patriots, making patriot soaps, making me smell nice. And that's what's nice. Who wants to go down the street and smell of somebody bad in New York City? Hey, by the way, what's this thing for?
250 years ago, a nation was born, built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
You know what is more disappointing than Gino Bisconte, everyone?
My sex life?
No, bad cell service. Let's make fun of Gino. Oh, wait, he's here.
Well, speaking of the opposite of his sex life, these people have towers that are huge, and they're everywhere. And while you're traveling, you can use these huge towers, patriotmobile.com / it bends to the right, I don't have to tell you, TAFW. And then you can talk about me behind my back.
Patriotic people doing patriotic things.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Agara coffee. Why? Because it increases focus.
This is T-Mac, the Patriot, and I love Patriot products like Sugar Creek Goods. Check it out today on our website.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We kind of veered a little off topic. Well, not really, because we are talking about the next generation, and we're talking about bringing them up and rising them up. And the best way to do that is education and education. We were just talking about school boards and school board elections and things like that. Educating in history of our country. I mean, to legally enter our country, you have to have extreme knowledge of American history. You have to pass a test on that. Personally, I think that we should really drill that into our own children that are born and raised here and growing up here, and I don't think it is enough, considering that we stopped teaching.
I do have to add one thing. Civics are not taught in the classroom nearly as much as they should, or if at all, and that leads to an uneducated public. I've heard this plenty of times from a great mentor and professor, Nick Giordano. We need to bring civics back to the classroom and teach people what are their rights in the Constitution, how America is run properly, and explain it to those who can fully understand the message of America. And that would bring people more so willing into being accepting America values and ways of life right there.
And having a basic knowledge of how your government is run is just another way that you can be educated within the political realm, in my opinion, especially for those wanting to get involved with politics. And now, circling back to what we were talking about before, a man who was all about getting young people involved in politics, Charlie Kirk, and the left's reaction to how he passed away. It seems to me like they have made it a joke. And not only a joke, a prom transition. If we could just quickly play cut 6 as an example. Oh, sorry, cut 5. Cut 5.
How many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Trending last year was that and many, many other videos of people using a man's final words, a man who was publicly executed, his final words as a prom transition.
Absolutely disgusting and nasty. It just shows that there is realistically no humanity left on the left.
Yes, there's a lack of warmth and love. And that's something we talked about a lot on our episode about being pro-life, about abortion, when we were talking about that, is that there's just genuinely a lack of love. We showed a video that day, I believe we showed this video, if not, then I'll show it in the future at some point, of people willing to sign a petition to save puppies from being aborted, but not to save human beings. So there's just no empathy left. There is absolutely nothing left. And this is a sign, and I know I talk about the Bible a lot, but that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk about Jesus. And this is one of the many signs told to us in Revelation that the day of the Lord is coming much closer. He said the love of many will grow cold, and it is growing cold. It's growing incredibly cold. But now, as we talk a little bit more about wrapping this thing up and talking about Charlie Kirk's legacy, I think one of the biggest things that we can talk about is his love for young people and his love for the Lord.
And that he did have much love right there for all young people involved and everything. And I would like to reiterate, if you are feeling lost, such as I did when I was originally interested in politics, you can always reach out to your local GOP office and connect with them right there, or any of the activism hubs that are involved with the Republicans or the right wing, such as Turning Point, YAF, the Institute Leadership, and a few others that I'm pulling a blank on right now. They're always looking to get people involved and going forward into the political world, business world, and academic world right there. We truly do need everyone to be on board to go forward to save America, because our ideas are something that need to connect all of us. And not everyone is suited, realistically, to pick up a mic. Some of you might be suited to pick up a gavel and be a judge. Some of you might be suited to pick up a pen and be a teacher. Other ones, you may be suited to be a firefighter or a police officer. Where God has destined you to go is where you will end up. But the ideas you bring along with it are yours alone. And hopefully we can all stand in solidarity for America in God's image right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's read, I'm going to read Psalms 78, 1 through 4. Give ear, O my people, to my teaching. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in parable, and I will utter dark sayings from old. Things that we have heard and known, that our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from our children, but tell the coming generation of the glorious deeds of the Lord and his might, and the wonders that he has done. I can't reiterate this enough, but a knowledge of not only the way our government works, but a knowledge of those who fought for our country, and a knowledge of the founding fathers' beliefs, and the knowledge of our Lord and Savior is the best thing, all of the best things that you can pass down to the younger generation to bring them up to honor a legacy such as Charlie Kirk's. And Charlie Kirk himself once said that what he wanted to be remembered, and I believe this was only a week before his assassination, what he wanted to be remembered for was his faith. And what a wonderful thing to be remembered for. And as we come here, let's just be thankful that we have this ability, as Charlie did, to speak freely about our own political and religious opinions. And I'm thankful for this platform that I've been given. I'm thankful for the America First Warehouse. And as we talk about young people in politics, one thing that I've noticed is that you're not going to be turned away, especially if you're in the conservative realm. Older people and adults love to see the young people getting involved. They really do.
They will shower you in praise of that right there, especially when you come in, they're like, oh my God, you're here to take up the torch and push our ideas forward? All right, let's get you in right there.
That's exactly
They do love us. And I do want to add on, too, Charlie had absolute love and conviction and faith in this country. He even started Turning Point Faith as well, which is more of the religious aspect. So if politics are not so much your thing and you're still a youth, there's a place for you in the faith-based world as well through Turning Point Faith. And it's the same way you can contact them, either the college, Club America, or I think it's Advert, but that's a bit older thing. You go to the website and you type in your information, and then a regional manager will reach out to you, and you can start a faith-based chapter. Same thing with a college and Club America as well. And faith is also mainly important to us as well right here.
Yeah, and I mean, Charlie we celebrate him as a Christian martyr often, and the Bible itself says, what is it for a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? So that's one thing that I think we need to remember, is that our country is literally based on biblical principles. Our country is literally based on faith. And when they try to take that aspect out of it, that a lot of times is where we go wrong. And I'll reiterate that in every episode in every way that I possibly can.
I think Thomas Jefferson, or I forget it was Sam Adams, said, America was built for a moral and just society when signing the Constitution. And if we are not a moral and just society, how can we operate if that was what the Founding Fathers intended right there?
Yeah, absolutely. And how can we be a moral and just society when each side, especially the left, is trying to completely change what it means to have morals and change what it means to be moral in general? Let's look at the word truth. They have changed the meaning of truth to the point where does the word even have meaning to them anymore? My truth, your truth, what is truth? I don't know if they can even point us to an objective truth within their own ideologies.
They've taken the torch of words and have moved it so far away that it might as well be its own unique entity at this point. And therefore, how can communication even be possible if there is no consensus on what is reality? If we cannot come to consensus, we cannot come to end the quarrel that has happened between the left and the right here. All it will do is push us further and further apart until there's nothing more except that we are separate entities. We are no longer one country united. We are two countries divided, and we will be easily conquered by the enemies abroad, or fall to decay and end up like the Roman Empire did in the Dark Ages.
United we stand, or divided we fall. It's such a true statement even nowadays. And one thing we brought up when we were talking about communism in one of our past episodes was just how at the time, way back when we were fighting wars over communism, it was a foreign affair. And now here we are, we're dealing with it here on American soil. It just goes to show that it's coming, and we can't stop it because there's such a divide within our country where you can't even have a civil conversation with a person from the opposite side of the political aisle.
I will say, it's not that we can't stop it. We will stop it. It was a foreign affair. We imported a lot of the issues into America that we face today.
No, believe
we
me.
need to remigrate them out of our country, for we have a safe, stable, and controlled society right there, where everything is good. No longer CVS's where you have to go to the plexiglass and be like, hey, can you come open the soap box for me right quick? That's some of the worst stuff right there. We will return America to how it was, and we will perfect it going forward.
And one of the largest industries that often pushes forward something that was brought in a lot through illegal immigration was human trafficking. And I'd love to bring this up again because it's lied. There's been lies told to the younger generation and women about this, and it's abortion. Abortion is a huge way that human traffickers are able to not only because they don't ask questions. That's what I'm trying to get at, is they don't ask questions to younger women who are underage. They will help you get an abortion in other states, as we've seen in one of those videos that we played on our
so they lure you in like, hey, they do the canny thing, basically.
Yeah.
Hey, you want some abortions? The state's legal. Come in our van, we'll go. So that's what they do?
No. What I'm saying is traffickers bring young women whom they've gotten pregnant to these abortion centers, and abortion centers who can't help them there will direct them into places where they can be helped. And they do not report these incidents. They do not ask for the age or marital status or who the adult with that child is. And let's be honest. Lies are being spread all over the political aisle to young people, which is why, once again, I can't reiterate it enough. Parents, you need to talk to your children and have connection with your children and bring them up in the right way. And that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good one.
This is Founding the Future.